about 9:15 or so. Went to the Rock City Cafe, but that's closed till 3 p.m. on a Sunday. This is your local convenience store right across the river from the campground. I've just come back into town from trying to get breakfast. There's the Husky Haven campground, heading towards Cumberland. It's right on the trail. Quite a wide path. This is the first time I've really seen it this wide. It's a little bit softer, so those of us with thinner tires be a little bit more difficult. Just left Rockwood. As I was saying, there really isn't much food options there other than a convenience store. I think a pizzeria and then a Rock City Cafe with fairly limited hours. There is a bar next to the convenience store. The convenience store closes at 9 o'clock, I believe. I wanted to get an adult beverage, but it was closed by the time I got done being on the internet in the basement of Husky Haven guest house. The other thing is, in one of the blogs, the guy said, oh, coffee, you know, it says they offer coffee, internet and all that, but I think the coffee is just for the guest house people, because there was no coffee in the basement this morning when I got up. So I think you only get the coffee if you're in the guest house. I did get coffee at the convenience store, you know, was fine. Hit the spot. So phone says, I think it said I'm 45 miles from Cumberland, staying at the Fairfield Inn tonight. Want some creature comforts. Like I was saying, phone says 5 hours. It'll probably take me 6 or 7 with stopping. 15 to 18 miles of it after I hit the Continental Divide is downhill, which will be good. And I have my first big tunnel. I've only gone through one, the Pinkerton Tunnel, before Rockwood. Ride's getting more interesting. It's and there's very few clear views of the river that you're riding along. Pretty good headwind, and I'm not really going that fast. Maybe my maximum speed is 11. Right now I'm going 8.5. Let's see what this sign says. So Myersville is still, oh, Garrett. Okay, I remember seeing Garrett on the map. 5 miles to Myersville. Looks like lizards. Whoa! And then Frostburg. There is river access here, so that's why there's some people there. But, you know, a lot of these towns, you gotta go over the river to get to them, or at least where the commercial district is. I wonder if this is where the other YouTuber saw the pheasants. So here's the approach to the Salisbury Aqueduct from Salisbury. Some people coming. Looks like it's getting quite popular. It is Sunday. There's a little cemetery here. So this is one of the planned highlights of the trip. This is the Salisbury Aqueduct. I assume this was a water drain. This is an aqueduct, so it must have been water. It's pretty windy out here, but I want to say this thing is like, I don't know how long it is. You have to look up on the internet, but it's quite long. It was one of the highlights of the trip. And out there's some wind farms. Getting a workout today. I don't know how well you can hear me because it's very windy. Like I said, I have a headwind. I definitely sense that I'm going uphill now. Not terribly. I mean, it's spread over quite a few miles, but it'll be interesting to see the graphic, because looking forward to that drop at Cumberland, or the drop to Cumberland from the Continental Divide. See where we are. Yeah, it is Myersdale. Let's see what time it is. It's still early. It's only 11:20. Here we are in Myersville. A little historical center there, and then a caboose if you want to go on it. Really nice little museum in there. I don't know what that is, but this was part of the Western Maryland Railroad. It's a nice little museum here at Myersville. Got the railroad area. A lot of artifacts and stuff. Really kind of neat. Western Maryland Railroad. This is only the one room. See the tunnel picture. Quite neat. Some big meters. So on pretty much all these towns, they have these signs as you approach with a map of the area or where you are, more or less. I rode from Rockwood this morning. No cell service. Went through Garrett. Turned right at the Salisbury Aqueduct. I turned on my phone a little bit. I think I had cell service there for a little bit. I have no cell service now in Myersville. But here's the graph. It seems I'm almost at the top of the Continental Divide and done most of the climbing. And then it's supposedly 15 miles of various amounts, 12, 18 miles of downhill. So here we are. We just crossed that bridge. I want to say it's called Burwell, or I'm not exactly sure. Again, there's these berries, and I ran into a gentleman who was picking them, and he said, I asked him what they were, and he said they're black raspberries. So I saw the red ones and thought that was them, but no, he said the black ones are the ripe ones. This is one of the many trains that go by that will affect your sleeping pattern, because they travel all times of the day, maybe even more so at night. They're very loud. They blow their whistles as they get near the towns. I don't even know if you can hear me. It's so loud. River. I did want to mention that they have these shelters seems like they're a fair amount. And they're peppered throughout, and I guess they're rain shelters. They usually appear right after a roadway or a bridge or something. Good to know that if you get caught in the rain, which I won't because it's such a beautiful day. Just past mile marker 25. Terrible headwind. Really just kind of sucking the life out of me. Plus I'm going uphill, so it's not great. I'm only doing about 9 miles an hour. So there it is, Eastern Continental Divide. Made it. Almost there. Been coming uphill. Again, the worst part is the headwind. Someone actually commented on it, the headwind. So here's a sign. I feel obligated to show it like everyone else does. I just saw a group of people. I guess they're gonna walk. I think they're walking to Frostburg. I'm not sure how far away it is. So here we are inside the Big Savage Tunnel, 3,300 feet long. It is surprisingly lit, although the camera's kind of pumping it up quite a bit, but I think you can be fine without a headlight. I added mine, but it is quite illuminated with these lights. Really quiet and quite cool. But yeah, that's it. Here I am. You probably can't see me. Big Savage Tunnel. Here we are. I just cleared Big Savage Tunnel. This is one of the few vistas I've seen. Big Savage Tunnel is 3,300 feet long. The tunnel is right around there. I mean, it's real close, just behind those bushes. You can't see it, but this is the view that I have. Just crossed the Mason-Dixon line, and it looks like this is where you get some decent downhill, is after the Mason-Dixon line, which is not too far after the view outside of Big Savage Tunnel. So
the bikes I'm seeing have little packs on them like that guy's. I don't know if they're just rentals or people go out for extended rides and, you know, need lunch and that kind of thing. But this is a pretty good downhill. I'm not even pedaling now, and I'm doing 12 miles an hour. If I give it a little assist, I can get it up to 15. So here I am in Frostburg. There's the Allegheny Passage down there. You'll see this little gazebo, and basically you have to go uphill to get to Frostburg downtown. So there's a switchback that you take for bicyclists. Otherwise you've got to go up this highway, which was kind of an intense climb. So this is basically a switchback from what I understand, what the map is showing. A little zigzag up to the top, but hopefully there's a taco waiting for me at the end of it. And there's some artwork along the way. Cyclist artwork. It's kind of cool. I was on the switchback that I told you about, but there was also, I climbed right by that pedestrian sign. Right there, it comes out. There's a street, you have to do the switchback, and then there's another hill. That was a pretty massive hill coming up to there. And then I just took this up. And I stopped here. The goal was this Mexican restaurant, which I recommend, even though it's a pretty brutal hill. It's the toughest hills I've had so far on the trip, but I got 2 great burritos for like $7.25. The whole meal was $10 with an iced tea and a big bunch of chips. Frostburg Museum coming soon. But this is downtown Frostburg. It's a beautiful town, but the downside is you got a pretty big hill to get up here. There's the switchback I came up. I went by the depot, and I just want to point out, like that cyclist is doing there. This is that's the incline I went up to get to that center part of town, because I just did a loop and came down another way. So it's basically there. So it's quite an incline, especially with such a heavy bike. And you can't see the top, but that's probably a little bit past that, I think, is the top there. And then this is the turnaround that you see with the train. A lot of the videos, or the one video I saw, was from the vantage point of up there looking down where they rotate the train. So I guess the train comes back in here. Obviously there's some history to this, but this is the first time I've literally been next to the railroad tracks. Mile marker 12, I want to say, from Cumberland. Just looking at this view, you can see the wind farm that I passed through along the ridge there. You have this lovely meadow. Probably about 10 more miles to go until I make Cumberland. About 4 miles outside of Cumberland. I think I just passed mile marker 6. And switching back and forth over the tracks. Had some nice views of the windmills. This is the trailhead, I think. I don't think this is quite Cumberland. This is Cumberland 5 miles. So still got a ways to go, but it's been all downhill. It's been great.